And then welcome back to The Good Show, powered by Asus. And we're moving into the Dota 2 segment. It's been a long show, but hopefully informative. So we're in Dota 2. We can now introduce the new guest, permanent guest, maybe. Who knows? It is, of course, he calls himself the most overrated personality in Dota 2. I don't believe him. Welcome to the show, everybody. Bruno!
Yay! Hi, guys! How are you? How's everyone? How are you too?
Good.
Nice to hear.
That was fun. You look like you're about to go fishing with your grandfather.
Yeah, Hellspawn. Like Bruno, he's not wearing that properly, man.
He's not working.
There you go.
All right then. We've actually you've only just turned up, Bruno.
Yeah, I just got here yesterday. It's been quite a long flight, 20 hours. Very interesting. And now I'm cold. Really cold.
I just thought you were excited.
Yeah.
Either way, it's the first time you've seen snow. How old are you?
I'm a bit fatter, I think. Happier, crazier. I think I can help you with the resolution, especially the mental one. So
Yeah, so
That's
it is the first time though you've seen snow, right?
yeah, it is. It is, and it's
wanna go
white. No, it's fine. I mean, I spent like 1 hour today watching the window, staring. It's like cool. It's like a snow globe, but real. Anyways, I'm too old for that.
All right. Draskell, unfortunately, isn't on the show because we had to take Draskell to the doctors.
Yeah.
Then he went to the hospital. His leg's really hurting.
Yeah.
And they gave him like ibuprofen or something, and then he's got a week and it still hurts. They're going to chop it off. Yeah, so he's asleep upstairs.
Maybe he's got the link control thingy. And his
No,
legs are
apparently, just so we don't get out of hand here. Apparently, it's like a pinched nerve or something.
Yeah,
But
well,
it
maybe.
may have been. It may very well have been.
But the
an
doctor
in-control
said
thingy.
he will never cast again.
Dum dum dum.
Dun, dun, dun.
And Weapons is obviously producing. So let's move into the news in Dota 2. So the first one is no Tide Hunter moving together to Sweden, or in Sweden, to get a boot camp place.
Following the Cupid Pandas
Yeah.
footsteps, they decided, I mean, if other teams in Sweden are doing it, why not us? So, I mean, that will mean, most importantly, that Eternal Envy, player from Canada, is moving to Sweden. That's kind of a big thing. I think he's quite young, actually. I think he's 18 or so. I don't have the exact age. Yeah, it's to speak of the probably. But it's quite young for a move like that. But I think that's good for Sweden because, I mean, we've seen tournaments like DreamHack and the Thor Open already. Probably will be more of that eventually. And I mean, getting team houses like that, it happens a lot in China, but not as much in Europe. And Sweden being the lead in that, it's like most probably other teams will want to emulate that eventually, and that will mean that.
We still don't know who their sponsors are. I've got two guesses. My first guess is SK Gaming because Loader and the
Aki.
but my second
he was
guess,
SK Loader for so long.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what
exactly.
he's
but
recognized
my
for.
second guess is Evil Geniuses.
That's my first guess. I don't
Yeah.
think SK would do this. They would actually announce them like they always do.
Yeah, so I'm guessing EG might be getting a bit more into the European scene. So especially since they've kept Raid Cool and Fnatic have not got them anymore. So
To me, it's just strange they haven't announced it earlier, like it's taken so long time, because they were what I know, signed months ago. For me, I think it's really smart they moved together. No, Thailand, they haven't done so good lately. I mean, they came off so big when they united, they won DreamHack Winter, and now recently
there's not been much. Well, there's been loads.
yeah,
of
but
online,
recently
but
online they haven't performed at all on par what I was expecting, and I think that of course you figure them out and Eternal Envy need to come up with new stuff, but they are underperforming to my expectations at least. So this maybe is even needed for them to keep on pace and keep developing.
Any kind of comments on their
Well,
performance
they
lately?
remind me a bit of Complexity. Like last year, they came out of nowhere. They were Team Fire before getting sponsored by Complexity. And they were pretty much like No Tide Hunter. They won a couple of big tournaments just out of nowhere. Everyone was talking about them. Then they kind of fade off. But, I mean, you give those players some time. And, I mean, most of Complexity is now Team Liquid, and they're doing quite well, actually.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Actually, I think they're
I saw a thread a couple of days ago that people are whining about them underperforming as well.
Well, they just won the BDS. I mean, of course, it was kind of a small
all
tournament.
teams are going to go up and down online as well. So
I think they have a good team and, I mean, good chances to get. And the biggest problem is that they're North American based, which means that they will not be in most LAN tournaments in Europe. But other than that, I mean, they have quite a good shot. They're favorites for lots of tournaments. Not the only ones, but they're
Right,
solid.
and you think it makes sense for them to do it in Sweden?
Well, yes. I mean, Sweden is fucking nice. I mean, I've been here just 24 hours and I'm already liking it. So, I mean, it's a good place. You can get all the comfort of. I mean, it's nice. I think the most important thing is getting all 5 people together.
yeah.
And
It's going to be interesting also to see how the house will be. If it's going to be like they just live together, or if it's going to be more of a team house. That's what I'm excited for. Also, I saw that internal Emmy was whining about the prices in Europe and Sweden especially.
All right.
I mean, if they just move in together, like that old StarCraft house that they used to do in Sweden as well, it's not going to work. They need a proper
Manager.
I think it can work as they are a team, though.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but it's so much harder when there's no proper structure in the house, and it's usually not worth it.
Loda is kind of grumpy though, so he might make it work.
All right then. So moving on, team matchmaking was added by Valve recently. So you can obviously just join your mates and do a party kind of join where you go into the normal play, but then you can also queue for matchmaking.
How'd that go?
So, and we started doing this yesterday at the Good Studio because we've got our 5th and final member, Bruno, fucking on support, and we're training to destroy BTS because we're going. I want to make the BTS game when because now you're here, we can make it happen.
Yeah, we're doing
I want to make it at least like once every couple of months, and we
I
keep
like that.
score over the whole year for bragging rights. So team matchmaking's added, and the numbers are actually shown, so you can see where you're ranked, your score going up and down, which I think is brilliant. And we actually played in it yesterday, and we faced off versus EG, which I was kind of surprised about. I didn't think they were going to be good enough to be able to play versus us, but apparently they were, and they cheesed their way to victory. But what can you tell us about team matchmaking and maybe even how it works, or
well,
just generally?
I think that the most important thing is that this is Valve replying to 2 of the biggest things that happened after the new privacy scheme, which is people asking for rankings, most importantly, like number to compare yourself. And second one was people saying, well, I mean, Dota needs some kind of competitive factor. If I keep playing, even if I keep getting better, if I don't have any kind of measure in myself, not necessarily a number, but if you don't have something like that, eventually if you're a competitive player, you get bored because you don't see yourself improving, unless you're really, really good and you can like scream with the pro players and stuff. But I think that's great. What I think as well is that this is the first iteration. This is not the final team matchmaking. I'm 100% sure of that. I'm talking I mean, I don't know, but
He
pretty
does
sure.
know. He does know.
This is not the final. I mean, there are limitations right now. Like for example, you can only have 5 players, which people criticize. But you have to think, if you have 6 players, what stops you from, like, I don't know, getting Dandy in your team if you're friends with Dandy and playing 5 with Scraps and getting low matchmaking ranking and then stomp and have fun. I mean,
Well,
the problem is not having fun
but
yourself.
what's the incentive for that anyway? Because there's no rewards at the top of the ladder, right?
No, not for now.
Ooh.
Not for now. Maybe in the future. I mean, right?
But yeah. So and how come we played against EG? Do you know anything about how that kind of works? Because
Well,
we're in placement games.
Yeah, I actually got this from watching yesterday. What happened was this: it's like we're not playing. You know, it says you need 3 more matches to get to the rankings, and after we play the 3 first matches, we get an arbitrary number. I think it was 4,400 or something like that. And then we play against EG there, and we lost. I mean, we won in kills, so it's kind of like won. But after that, I mean, we started playing against other opponents, and when we won against the other ones, we didn't lose any rankings. Like we didn't win any rankings. We were winning, and our ranking was still the same, which led me to think that Valve does some kind of rubber band mechanic. Like you start, and if you win the first couple games, and if you do well, it puts you in a really abnormally high ranking. And then you go down from there until you get into your normal level, the level you deserve, which is rather cool because, I mean, it gives you, if you're good, it gives you the opportunity to go straight to the top without having to face lots of people, which
Like
you will
ELO
stop.
would normally have. you do.
Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, I'm inclined to believe that solo matchmaking kind of work that way. There's no way to know, but I mean, it's a really cool idea. Just I think that the biggest problem, I played Han, and the biggest problem was when you were starting a new account, you had to play, I don't know, 30, 40 games until you were in your right level. And
So it's more of a rubber band
Wasn't
system.
in Han also that in the end, when you started, you had too high ratings, so the players that were below your rating were better than you? Like, wasn't that a problem with Han?
Yeah, I think that back when I played just the first year after the beta. But yeah, I think that was a problem. It's like the average was too high, which is kind of weird because ELO and MMR, the idea is that you base everything compared to the average player. But if you get the number too high, then you're overestimating the average player. In this case, it was the opposite. I mean, the average player was was better than what you started, and then you get like lots of weird things going on.
Okay, all right then. So yeah, matchmaking's in there. We played EG. By the way, we were doing very, very well until Webpaz decided to miss a 4-man reverse polarity. And the thing is, his blink wasn't on cooldown. There were screenshots, thankfully, from the community.
The whole
Yes.
chat. Did you just see the chat earlier? It was brilliant. Somebody put it together, the slideshow.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And
Use your mic.
and we could have beat EG, and we would have just been able to shut down the studio right there. We would have turned into a professional Dota team, and Webpaz has screwed up our careers. But we are going to play some more team matchmaking because Bruno's not.
Get first look when I go forward
Yeah,
again.
Bruno's not just here for the studio and the content, also working on game development. Hopefully soon. All right then, so moving on. Beyond the Summit announces a... Beyond the Summit go to Indiegogo and announce that they are doing a Kickstarter to fund a studio in LA. Within 24 hours, they made $25,000. They're now up
Really
to around
cool.
$30,000. They've got new goals if it goes over the top, $50,000 and $100,000. If they make those, they'll do some special tournaments and more features and content, etc. But overall, the response from the Dota community was very positive and very good. They definitely deserve to be in a studio and doing it in a more professional way, and they don't need to because they're so good and the numbers in Dota 2 are so high. They don't need to join like an already existing organization and take a salary. They can make it on their own. So it's just been a big success overall.
Yeah.
It's almost like the good studio, I'm guessing. You're
Yeah.
gonna build something similar, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I think normally I'm not into. I don't like Kickstarters or give us money. We're gonna do something cool. But I think that Beyond the Summit has.
And this is
I
a very
wouldn't say
cool
earned, but I
project.
think that they have grown so much in popularity so fast over the last couple of months. So now they are for sure the number one Dota 2
Streaming organization.
streaming organization, and it's really cool that they actually want to achieve even more, moving together and building a studio. Maybe they got greedy going for 50 to 100k, but I think just it shows how much people love Dota
didn't
and
they
the
go for 25
beyond the
initially?
summit.
Yeah. They went.
Beyond the summit content, like that people really want to chip in to make this
I mean,
studio happening.
I sit with them in a Skype chat where we talk about it, and I was the one who actually suggested, look, if the community want to support you as much more, you can put extended goals on. I don't think their extended goals were great, because they were like, we're going to do a tournament, and I don't think the community necessarily wants to fund a tournament. But the cool thing that I thought that actually came out of this was it was actually a good Kickstarter. Because
Yes.
like in StarCraft 2, I got so pissed off with the amount of people getting their Reddit posts of,
Agreed.
I want to do a documentary on StarCraft 2. That's
Me
just like,
too,
yeah,
and you too.
yeah, that's just like giving money to someone to fly around the world to all the events and do a documentary that's probably never going to be going mainstream. It would be like it would be different if it's like, oh, I'm at this job and I work with Sky One, a mainstream TV channel, and my boss has said if I can fund this, I can do it, and it's we're most likely show it. But in that case, the boss would be like, well, it's a good idea. We want to fund it anyway, right?
Yeah.
So like the StarCraft 2 Kickstarters got very annoying very quickly, but this is one Kickstarter that I think was very deserved to be a Kickstarter, and I think the community felt that as well because it got funded. Bruno, do you have any comments before we move on to the next?
I think that they're not approaching this the correct way. I mean, instead of funding tournaments, what they should do is that if they get to 50k or 100k, they should show the full videos that were recorded. I mean, you know how they have this 3.5 minutes video showing why you should fund them, and James appears there, I appear there. there's P-Flags as well, another community
Yeah,
guy.
they didn't show our full videos.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, your
I saw
video-
toilet paper.
Man. You don't want to see my full
you
video.
know why
Bruno?
I'm scarred now when I came down to the studio. There's
Yeah.
a pile of toilet paper.
But congratulations to them. You can check it out if you're watching for Dota 2. I'm sure you've already seen it. But if you haven't seen it before, if you just go to Reddit, our Dota 2. It's a really good Kickstarter video, and what they're doing is very deserving of the community support. So we'll leave it at that. So congratulations.
Just one
Beyond the
comment on
Summit.
that.
Huh?
Do we know why they picked California and Los Angeles?
Oh, I do. I actually talked to them, and one of the main criticisms that some people gave was like, why not Asia? Because A, it's cheaper, and it's their main target, because... I mean, you can... Not Singapore, for example.
Yeah.
Singapore is expensive, but you can go to Thailand, where gods lived, or something like that. I think, well, first it's a matter of familiarity. Like, I know all these in charge of setting up the company and all this stuff, and it's always good to know the US laws and make sure you don't make a mistake.
I actually think Los Angeles is a good decision. It's interesting to see that in the West Coast in the US, Los Angeles area, California, it's almost like it's starting like a cluster of esport companies and entities right now.
Yeah. And Gods is already there.
It's growing into
But it feels like LA is kind of expensive, though. I mean, they could have been more like the center part.
LA is so big, you can be a lot
Yeah,
far
exactly.
outside
It
of
really
LA.
depends
you
on
can
where
find
you
your
are
place
in LA.
And
There's so much talent, so much resources in LA. So
there's
it's good.
Perch is there, Blitz is there, also another great streamer. You have Fluff and stuff, which is really friendly with them.
I lived there for 20
You
something
lived there,
years.
yeah.
You can definitely make it work if you.
But you
there's
see,
so much
you see
availability
Riot,
in
you
LA.
see NASL, you see Beyond the Summit, and
But it-
more
yeah.
esports stuff going
Becoming
on.
So-
the esports hub of the US.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of people over there now. But beyond the summit, it'll be interesting to see where they go from this. They've got the money to build the studio. We helped them out with that because they contacted us and said, what equipment do we need? Try and give them a nice breakdown. So we're always happy to help beyond the summit. And then they basically went off and did what they did. And hopefully it goes really well for them. So looking forward to what it looks like. Looking forward to who they're going to bring on in different areas, because I'm sure they've got room for expansion over there.
Yep.
Because they're a very small team right now, but well done, LD and God. So moving on, ESL TV, who we know is doing the EMS, a big Dota tournament, have now welcomed their new in-house Dota 2 commentator. It is Kawa.
Yeah, Kawa. Jared, yeah.
And but oddly enough, after the announcement of announcing Kawa as their Dota commentator, they've outsourced what looks like EMS, their big go in Dota 2. They've got it on Join Dota. Kawa was commentating with Toby recently under the Join Dota brand with all the logos for ESL.
Exactly.
But Turtle Entertainment, which is ESL, were big competitors with Freaks for You Gaming, because they're both German organizations. One of them's based in Cologne, ESL, the other one is in Berlin, Freaks for You. So it looks like ESL were like, we're maybe not ready to do it all ourselves. Can you guys help us to start with? I mean, I don't understand what
It's
this
a really
relationship
old move.
is. Huh?
It's a really odd move in my opinion.
Yeah,
I mean,
it does feel odd.
I don't think they needed Toby. I think the teams could draw in the
teams and the prize money could draw
the
in,
viewers they
definitely,
need.
yeah.
It's odd.
I mean, I know Kawa from before. He's a really nice guy. He's a good guy, and he's a very good commentator. I mean, he's new, and everyone gets like a kind of negative reaction whenever you do something new, because you want to compare it to the other ones, and you start nitpicking. He's a really good caster. I mean, give him a month or so, and he'll be going great. I still don't understand why. I mean, it's like, if you want him to grow, if you take the bother to actually move someone from the US to Germany and give him everything, it's like putting him next to another big picture. Toby or anyone. It's just like you're making it more difficult for him. And I'm sure that when the offline tournament will come, it's like in a month from now, he will be the main caster. You will want him to be the main caster because, I mean, you brought him there. And I mean, I don't know. I think that would be better if you let him bring his own co-caster, get him a pro player to help him cast or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's strange from all over. Like I stated before, I think it would be smarter if they took two guys that were high profile instead. And I think that Join Dota's logos were bigger than Raid Coast logos in the waiting for the game coming up. And also Freaks for You and ESL. I think that Freaks for You's founders were within ESL before and founded ESL.
There was a falling out.
Yeah, and then they had a breakout and they had some bad blood, especially around the NGL1 and the
Yep.
WC3L league.
Long time ago, like 2002, 2003, I think it was.
Nah, I think that was
That's
later
later,
actually. It
yeah.
should be 2007, 2008, I would
Oh,
guess.
really? Oh, and NGL was then? I thought
Yeah.
it was...
05, 06,
Like,
I don't know.
Ah,
Okay.
mid 2000 at least.
covered
But
all of the Nordics.
it's I guess it's just business. I mean, Join Dota is so big, especially Toby. For me, it's just that why is not Join Dota keeping focusing on their own content? I feel that Toby has felt behind, and like Beyond the Summit is taking a lot of the space that Toby had 1 year ago, and it's just. I don't know, maybe it was more needed for Toby and Join Dota than it was for ESL, and this
you
was
think
a
so? With
Well,
Toby,
we-
sitting Toby's sitting at 30K
Well,
viewers right now.
but it's not about his viewers. It's about the company and what business they have
Sure,
coming
sure,
in.
sure.
If
I'm
you don't
just-
need
I'm
to
just
take the
going
business,
after
you don't
one point.
necessarily have to. But yeah, it's like, and also to add on to that, Own 3D were a big supporter
Yes.
of Join Dota's products, etc. And they're not there now. But I've actually heard that Freaks for You Gaming is going very, very well from one of their employees. But yes, Webpers, what do you want to say?
From what I heard from yesterday, Kawa was...
Are you on a mic?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think so
cool.
at least. So, yesterday, Epi was co-casting, or Kawa was co-casting with Epi, and he said that he doesn't even have access to the office right now because of the carnival or whatever. So, like, everybody's out partying, so the office is closed. That's why ESL doesn't have their own stream up, because no one's working.
all right.
And that's why he's
Okay.
casting from
There's-
home with Toby and Epi.
That's a
But
really
from what I heard, it's
good
going to be
party.
that
That's professional.
when he gets into the studio, he's probably going to have his own stream. But right now, it's like everybody's out partying, and it's going to go on for this week. Or
If
whatever.
That's
you're
really
if you're
weird.
anywhere near Cologne or in Germany, go down to Cologne now and join the fucking festival party. It's the best
It's
party all
amazing.
year round in Germany. Seriously,
I've been there.
I have
I
fond
like
memories.
Cologne.
He doesn't even have access
Get your
to the office.
costumes.
All right, okay, so no access maybe is why. So we thank you, Webheads, for letting us speculate and then potentially knowing the answer right at the end. You get. Let's move on. We play Dota. That's right. We play Dota announces their 10K prize pool, but it's also 10K in gear. 8 teams invited. 16 from qualifiers and BTS are covering it. Anything just to add to this tournament announcement that they've done?
I'm really happy because it will be the first time that BDS is casting a Western tournament. I mean, they've been like, they did some like the international and stuff like that, where they had teams from both East and West. This is the first time it's like a Western-only tournament. I remember that LD started casting back in the Premier League too, the one that was made on Dailymotion that was terrible. But I mean, so he definitely knows. Gods, of course, is quite in touch as well. So I'm sure they will do a good job. But I mean, it's interesting to see how they will tackle the difference, because I mean, it's two different games when you go with the Chinese scene, when you go to the Southeast Asian scene, and when suddenly you go to the Russians and Swedish and everyone playing differently. So it's worth watching, I think.
It's an extremely good lineup of teams as well.
Yeah.
16th to 17th of February, I think is the first round. Sounds good. Good teams.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they're doing it on the weekends as well.
Mm-hmm.
They mentioned.
Something interesting is that it's really cool that they're upping the prize money by giving gear, which is something that is not done too much, I mean, so far in tournaments. I think it's like the amount of money they get in gear is equal to the amount of money they get in cash. So that's like, I don't have the exact number here, but suddenly it's quite an interesting tournament just for that.
Yeah, it's 20,000 total, 10 in prize money, 10 in prizes. It's also good for sponsors in a way to be able to get product placements out there on the announcements. Because otherwise it's like, here's our logo, here's a bunch of cash.
That part has fell off a lot.
in
It was
esports,
kind of big before.
Yeah,
but
that was a big part in esports.
I think
06,
I guess
07.
it's because we have more prize money, so you don't need to put in as much gear.
Okay, so GEST Dota 2 2013 announced, and its first qualifier. Hellspawn, stop clicking the document, you're blocking. and announced its first qualifier based around Southeast Asia region. Main event prize will be $1.5k, but this will be a monthly occurrence, so total prize pool excluding qualifiers of $12,000. Can you tell us more about the GEST, Bruno?
Well, GST, for those of you who watch Dota 1, it's the only tournament that remains doing Dota 1 constantly every single month. It's a very nice tournament for two reasons. Firstly, like you know, if you've heard the term bottle growing, when you watch this tournament, you see lots of Pinoy teams, and you really find the whole concept. It's like everyone, the crow is going there. You have 2 or 3 crows getting one, and it's really fun. And the second thing is that you get to see heroes that you don't get to see in Dota 2, like Techies, like Tuskar, like Skywrath Mage. And I mean, even for people who never played Dota 1 and stuff, they get really interested in seeing these heroes because they know that it's what's coming next. So.
But now they're going into Dota 2?
Yeah, they're going to Dota 2 now.
Yeah. Are they still doing the Dota 1 then?
I don't have confirmation of that.
Okay. But, I mean, you know, so what are they likely to produce in the Dota 2 in terms of quality of tournament?
The most important thing is that Southeast Asia now gets constant tournaments, which is something that they did not have so far. You have a tournament here or there. Sometimes 1 or 2 teams get invited to Chinese tournaments. But, I mean, it's really important because... I mean, as much as we don't know, Southeast Asian Dota is really big. Like the Pinoys have lots of teams, Malaysia, Singapore. It's not only Zenith and Orange and MEFC, which is no longer. But I mean, that's huge because we'll be seeing new teams and.
So new teams, regular content through the GEST. Do you know who's producing and like? Do you know anything about where it's going to be streamed?
For Dota 1 was Gigabyte.
Okay, but Gigabyte was through Gods. Gods was one of the commentators. Right?
Yes.
So we're expecting Beyond the Summit to...
Well, they are casting.
They are?
Don't know. No, I don't know if I can confirm that. They may be. I don't know. No.
Mate, we need to get you shorter flights over the jet lag.
I know too much, James.
You know too much. Oh, God, you've just... Okay, maybe, yeah. All right, well, I would expect it to be Beyond the Summit, to be honest, because Gods has always worked with Gigabyte, so hopefully we get them, and that is their bread and butter, as you mentioned, is Asian Dota, and that will be a regular season with monthly Asian Dota. So we'll see if that's going to happen. All right, that brings us to the end of the general news. We can move into player changes. First off is Absolute Legends change roster. Mania remains captain. So what can you tell us about this?
Well, for hardcore Dota 2 fans, they will remember the team that was called originally Monkey Business, then called SK, DD, Eclipsia, Quantic, and hell knows many names. It was exactly the same lineup, but instead of Unicorn, they had Link, which left Dota and is playing LoL now, League of Legends, I think.
Not sure.
Maybe
playing in DD or HCM now.
Okay.
Together with the French.
Oh, yeah, right.
Didn't they have Calculus also in that team?
Well, yeah, but Calculus left because of studies, and Mania came. And for the last time, it was those 5, like Mania, Miguel going mid. He was very famous playing Shadow Shaman mid, which is something that you don't see anymore. It was quite an interesting team. And I mean, other than that, they were the runner-ups to the Defense 1, and you have to remember this was like January, February last year, when Navi was unbeatable. And the only team that could beat them, like 50-50, was SK. I mean, this team. So these guys definitely have potential.
All right. So Absolute Legends have landed themselves a good roster.
Yeah, but it seems like they haven't been as strong at all, these players. I mean, for example, Mania, his SK is always something that I like to see. That Miracle didn't be as good as he was in Dota 1, and also at the International he did okay, I would say, but he didn't come through as strong when he played with the Swedish team that are now the CLG.
Yep.
So I don't know really what I think about this team.
All right,
they will have a hard time, I think.
Bruno, you think they're going to have a hard time?
Yes, I think, but because the competition changed back then, it was like only Navi being a great team, maybe Natural 9 was really good. Now you have things like Empire, like Virtus Pro, Fnatic. I mean, it's getting more crowded.
The competition is extremely hard.
No, well, I didn't want to mention them yet because they're not here, but watch out.
All right, well, we'll move on. So, Ice Climbers, more player changes. Ice Climbers picked up by 3D Clan, qualified for both the Premier League and Star Ladder Season 5. So, I've never even heard of this team.
Well,
Ice Climbers? They're a known Quake 3 team.
Yes, but I don't think it's the same. You cheeky git.
No, it's mostly, most people will know Dread from that team.
Yeah.
There's also Solo is there as well, kind of a known Russian player, not as well known. I think that there's a good and a bad thing to this. The good thing is that, so far they've been 10-0, like these last few weeks, which is quite impressive. Not as impressive because, their only big victories were against No Tide Hunter and 3D Max, which No Tide Hunter, it's not a top tier team right now. This is really good, but not top 3. And 3D Max is kind of like a top 10, 20. The that's kind of like the good thing. I mean, they're on a roll and they have won themselves to show. The bad thing is that, well, they'll have it rough because now they will start facing the real teams, and it's kind of, well, at least they don't have PGG or Artstyle, so probably the team won't disband in 2 weeks.
And our general esport experts ever heard of 3D?
It's only dread. I think that normally the Russians have a hard time keeping it together, even harder than other teams. So I don't know what to expect, but it seems like it's gone kind of good for them. So hope it will last. They can perform even better.
Are there any natural like environments for these tier 2, tier 3 teams to actually play and compete? And
EMS. They have that open ladder.
Yep.
That's probably the
They
biggest.
also
Yeah,
and
more regular
Tibia
stuff.
and the Premier League 4. They're there as well.
I mean, the defense has been in such a tournament where if you come in as an unknown team, you had the possibility to face off and like climbing through the faces.
Yeah.
But also Valve, man, with their team matchmaking ladder system, that actually can open up some eyes if they
it's a
use
really
that.
good feature for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if they use it in some sort of tournament way. All right, then. So last player changes. Australian team N9 disbands, unable to form a well-melded team.
I personally will really miss them. I mean, I got to meet these guys in TA2. They were probably the funnest team. Like as a whole, that they were very good together.
Where are they from?
Australia.
Yeah.
Australia.
I just
you
checking.
just said Australia.
I know. I was just checking.
That was the previous Han team, right?
Uh,
Absolute Legends?
No, that's Fnatic. That's Fnatic. Fnatic.
No, but the Australian team.
They had one or two home players.
He knows.
Yeah, because, I mean,
Silver was playing home, but-
yeah, it's always been so fun to see the Australian because they are such a closed community. But when they come out to these big tournaments, actually they perform really well normally. So, and I mean, N9 that's been around for so long, so I think like it would be a really big hole within their community when they have disbanded.
I mean, and this not only because of N9. I mean, it's a huge deal already, but it sets a precedent for Australian teams. It's really hard for an Australian team to actually participate because you can't go to Western tournaments because of the ping issues, and you can't compete against the Chinese because, I mean, at this moment they're one level ahead, so no one even wants to try because, I mean, you only get the Southeast Asians, but I mean, it's a really tough market for Australian teams. You have to get in there, and you have to be really, really good to actually make a difference. Otherwise, it'll be hard.
Yeah, so maybe an added reason to why they ended up disbanding. All right, we'll move on to tournament results. I'm going to read these out, and then you can come back to anything that you think's interesting, Bruno.
Sure.
I want to talk about the first one.
Well, we're going to come back to it if you think it's interesting. In tournament results, Orange won the SEA League, winning over Zenith. Other tournament results, Na'Vi eliminated Empire from the Defense 3 as the playoffs continue. In the BTS Weekend Cups end with Team Liquid winning their first Dota 2 tournament. And A Fist for the Tangos has concluded with Fear winning over S4 overall. That's a surprise, I think, for a lot of people. And by showtime, ESL should have rounded up their first cup.
Yeah, there's a
Oh,
final.
really? There's a cup on now?
Na'Vi versus
I should
Fnatic.
read this document before, shouldn't
Yeah,
I?
you
So
should.
go into whatever you think that was interesting in tournament results,
No,
and I'll sit
you
back
should
and
want
hang
to
out
start
with
with the
Trans.
Southeast Asian. You want to say something about
Yeah,
that?
sure. Like I really like Southeast Asian teams, especially Orange has always been a team that I look for, and Mushi for me like a legend. So this first game felt like Zenith had a better pick for me, and they started off so great in the first 10 minutes, and then Orange just took the first team fight, took the second team fight, and they were just destroying. Game 2, Mushi was just totally dominating on his Queen of Pain. Unfortunately, I haven't seen the third game, but like it was 1, 2, 3 steps ahead. Like Orange is so much better than Zenith at this time for me.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see.
I think that the interesting thing about these two teams is like a couple months ago, the biggest team in the Southeast Asian scene were Zenith, Orange, and MEFC. MEFC disbanded, but the players from MEFC went either to Zenith or Orange. So now you have like two very, very good rosters against them. And if I have to put a third now, because of Southeast Asian League, I think Neolution International, the team that came out third, they were playing really well as well. I mean, not as good as the other ones, but they're a new team and they have lots of potential. Regarding Zenith losing, I think that one thing that should be noted is that, or at least Zenith player told me this, is that they were not playing on LAN like as they usually do. The finals, they were like 3 in one place and 2 in another, and they had communication problems, which is really bad because I was rooting for Zenith. Not for the team because their manager, she's really pretty. It's a good reason.
Bruno, do you Bruno, do you agree with that Southeast Asian teams are more fun to watch because they are kind of,
Yes.
progressive, they're doing unexpected stuff?
I think that, when you get competitive, you start thinking about the money, you start thinking about results because otherwise your sponsor will get out. And you start playing safe because you want to win and you want to get the results. I think that the Southeast Asian scene still doesn't really care that much about that. So they're not afraid of trying new picks or getting out of tournaments because there's always another one around the corner. Now with GST, I mean, you can always do stuff like that and try crazies.
It's funny you should mention that because I am a diabolical, stupid, evil person.
Wow.
As we all know.
I'm impressed.
And since I'm, managing the Red Pandas, they were beating NTH and they were like super happy, right? So I come into their Skype chat and I offer them $250 for every game they continue to win, and every game they lose, they give me $250. And I went into Semmler's room and I told them they're going to lose both games, and then they ended up losing both games and they owe me $500. And I didn't want to lecture him, but I was like, it's really funny because once you make competition about the money, like, it doesn't help you grow. But I can't say they were like, only come with me because he's like, like some sort of third world kid, you know what I mean? So he was probably played the worst, but everyone else probably didn't care. But I just wanted to do it as a social
Come with
experiment.
me, says shut the fuck up games.
Yeah. But it was really funny. So I'm taking it all from Come With Me's budget, basically, right now. Nah, but I'm sure it didn't affect him. But it's really good. Like if you make a team and you play and you get the best play out of people who just want to be the best in the world because they want to be the best at what they do. And I definitely think like the Southeast Asian kind of teams do show that a lot more. So the other tournament results, obviously Na'Vi eliminated Empire. I mean, Team Liquid winning their first tournament. Anything you want to comment on these?
Na'Vi versus Empire. I mean, I think it's interesting because they got a rematch at the EMS like yesterday. I think Na'Vi won again. Like wrapping up for people who didn't watch it, game one of we're speaking the defense one. Game one, it was Dandy going 6-0 with the Queen of Pain pretty much at 15 minutes and game was over. Game two, they tried, Empire picked Lynx and Na'Vi decided to go with Lycan and Lynx as kind of counters because, you can't get slowed and you can kite him. There was also another Queen of Pain. But there was Empire picked Bane and Magnus, so they had lots of CC. Magnus put a lot of great weapons like reverse polarities, so they pretty much got control of a couple of team fights and that was over. And from game three, it was Dandy Invoker, which we don't see as much as we used to see, and it was crazy. He won like for Meteor, Deafening Blast, into Sunstrike. There was also Magnus. Pretty much whoever had the Magnus won the games, and that's quite telling about the hero. But it was really fun. Also, Voss played really well. Really nice third game. I think he ended with 800 GPM or so.
All right, and Team Liquid winning their first tournament.
I haven't seen it because I was traveling here.
Well, just in general, we don't need all their information. Did you expect them to be able to put it off on the Weekend Cup?
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I don't think you can take this seriously. It was kind of like a for fun tournament. Remember, this was just to accompany the announcement of BTS. So I don't think I don't know whether everyone was playing like if they were playing a big final, but they played really well from what I heard. And it's about time. People were expecting them to get results, and now they want this. It can only motivate them to win bigger things.
But hasn't always when I hear or read about Liquid's lineup and when they were in complexity, everybody said, yeah, they just run the same tactics, same heroes. It's so easy to figure them out. Still, they seems to always come on top, coming up with something new that works for them.
I think that I might be biased here, but I think Fluff, the captain, is a really, really smart captain. I have the opportunity to play like kind of games for fun with him. Still trying to play serious scrims, but he didn't really care that much. But he's a great captain. He's a great drafter, and he is. It's kind of like we were talking about the Southeast Asian. He isn't scared of improvising or just pulling the wild card out of nowhere. So, if anything, they deserve to succeed because of that. And I think TC is actually a great carry player. And,
aren't they playing a very rotational lineup though?
They have the thing is that they have two carry players like Korok and TC. But Korok is also really good at playing solo mid, so he's mostly playing solo mid right now.
Okay.
It seems like Team Liquid is performing if TC is performing.
Yes, and that's pretty much a way to put it. But I mean, to be fair, it's like saying, well, if your carry gets farmed, you're going to win the game.
Yeah, true. True.
So, well, and yeah, Fistful of Tangos.
Yeah, the cool tournament.
Yes.
I follow it and I liked it, and it was, to me though, I'm not the expert. I don't really understand the one-on-one mid tactics, but Fear seems to be so much better than anyone else. Like, it's almost ridiculous.
He took it like Fear is a carry player,
Yeah,
right?
he's not. He's
And
the
so
only one.
that's the really interesting thing, because Fear plays carry for EG, and S4 is someone that Loda said is going to surprise people because he's actually an amazing mid player, and they actually moved him
Yeah, he
onto
was
mid
off
on
lane
NTH.
before.
Yeah, so S4 was really, really good, and Fear took it very, very seriously, and he had a couple of his teammates help him train, but generally, he's as a carry, you focus on, you're pretty damn good at getting those last hits. So I think everyone was impressed that he was able to do it. But Bruno, what were your thoughts?
Well, they played great. They did play great. Actually, I got to see those because I watched the YouTube streams. I mean, Fear played amazingly well, not only in the finals, but all throughout the tournament. I think if you make a top 10 of the highlights of the tournament, Fear is in about 6 or 7 of them. So, I mean, congratulations to him. He's a great guy. I really like him. And I don't know him well, but he's a great guy. And the most important thing is that, as you said, I think this should go on. I mean, we have to have more tournaments like this because it's refreshing, and it's also really smart that they did this as before the games, before the tournaments, like a way to bring in people in.
I recommend it to them. I recommend it
Really?
to BTS. I said you should do a 2v2, and if you do a 2v2, I don't remember if I said you should do a 2v2, but I was like, a 2v2 would be really interesting, and you should call it lane-omancers or something.
Okay.
Lane romancing.
I have my own name ideas.
Yeah.
I mean,
What is yours?
well, I mean, it's for a Fistful of Tangos, and probably they're Leone fans, so they have... the next tournament should be for a few tangos more. The Good, the Bad, and the Feeder. And finally, Once Upon a Time in mid. And we have the...
Yeah. But I want to see a 2v2. BTS do a 2v2.
Can I add one thing?
No.
I didn't actually have time to watch it, but like you said, with Fear being a carry player, one of the bigger things in mid is, at least when you're playing with the team, is rune control and then ganking and so on.
Mhm.
When you
Which
remove
also
that.
makes... when you remove that, it's a lot about last hitting and controlling the lane. And since Fear being a carry player, he's automatically going to be better at last hitting, or doesn't have to be like that, but he is a good carry player, so his last hitting is most likely better, which means that he's going to get better farm or better lane control, which is going to help him have rune control from that, and then also dominate.
I mean, it doesn't mean he's the
it's
best
not
mid player of the
super
tournament,
surprising,
because
but
when you factor in other things, being a mid player is also about knowledge of when to back off, knowing when smoke ganks are coming, and doing the job if you have to leave. But yeah,
Producer Wepas forgets the picture, but also worth mentioning, Syndra got third. I think that was, for me, kind of surprising, because he's been kind of getting a lot of hate for his performance. And also Sing Sing came fourth.
Yep.
That's cool.
he said he played really shit. Sing.
Well, we
He
will all
didn't win,
remember.
so yeah.
We will all remember the Marlini game. I mean, it was pretty popular with the fountain.
He was actually really quite annoyed with his performance, but I think he's always wanting to be the best, and so when he ends up making mistakes, he's like, well, why the fuck would I do that? So he's actually upstairs scrimming today. I think they played versus Empire a little bit earlier and some other people. I don't think he's streaming it though. I'm not sure about that. All right then, so that brings us to the end of all our tournament results and player changes in our Dota 2 7. Apparently here I've got written, I have some weekly stats to show. Whenever you want, just give me the cue. Bruno.
Give me the key. There we go.
Bruno,
Yo.
any stats?
Oh, I think I have one or two here.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I just did this in a couple hours. The idea is to get something better than this, but the idea is I want to get weekly stats on whatever's happening in the scene. Mostly, not to be too much of a nitpicker, but I mean, to know what's going on. Like, for example, the most picked heroes this week were Rubik, Darkseer, and Lifestealer, which says a lot about carrying. I mean, I think Lifestealer being there is the most important thing, because he came out of nowhere. 2 months ago, no one really cared about Lifestealer, and now suddenly it's a top pick. Even sometimes first ban if you don't have the first pick. If you have the first pick. So it's getting right there. If we count banning as well. Sorry.
I was asking, what are you basing this on? Is it competitive games or is it
No, yes,
public,
this is this is only competitive games. Like I don't have the information on the AMS that's going on because I didn't get to load it. But I mean, you get the Southeast Asian, you get the defense, you get Dota 2 Star Ladder, and I think there was another one. Anyways,
What did you say? Rubik and what more?
Rubik.
I'm fucking impressed that you're actually into this, by the way. Because Newman is obviously on his phone, but he still bothers to ask questions.
Yeah.
Are you
It's
actually
interesting.
interested?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
That's all me.
Okay.
It's a charm.
Because I was like, okay, we got stats, and I'm like, normally we're very esporty general, and you're going very specific, and I just looked at these two, and I was like, what are they
can see
going to?
the
And then
Can I tell a story afterwards?
yeah, you can tell a story afterwards. Yeah, because stats now, or me tell a story.
No. About why I care about Lifestealer is because Lifestealer was my first jungle character that I was performing good. They got so feeded, so I was like dominating. So I love
I thought this was one where
Lifestealer.
you died repeatedly.
I started with dying by the crew. So it went
The
better
dying
afterwards.
repeatedly character was a different game. It was called Demon Hunter.
So okay, going on. If we count as well banned, most picked and banned, we got Nyx, Bad Rider, and Kodal.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
not surprised at all.
I'm not surprised at all. The interesting thing though is that a little bit below that list we have Wisp. But the thing is, in the Southeast Asian Dota, he's not picked, never banned. It doesn't exist. In European Dota, he gets banned 90% of the games. And the ones he doesn't get banned, he was 4 out of 4 this week, so 4-0. Very, very impressive. Getting a Wisp seems to be a priority for European teams. They seem to be able to capitalize on that. And
Out of curiosity, what were the heroes picked with it? Was it CK that was being
mostly
paired?
CK.
Yeah, CK.
I think two games CK for sure. The other ones, I don't know.
Seems like Wisp CK is such an
Wisp
impossibly
CK,
difficult
Wisp
combo to deal
Blend
with.
used to be famous before, not so much now. Wisp Lifestealer as well, because I mean,
I
with
just
Lifesteal-
I don't like Wisp.
I just want to play Dota now.
Yeah. I was just
Like, seriously, whenever we talk about Dota in the house, Dota.
Quickly rounding up, best percentages, like the best win, the ones that win the most. Unsurprisingly, well, Wisp is 4-0, Nyx is 7-1, so deserves to be banned a lot. Kodal is 8-3, also really good. Magnus 7-3, and the surprise here is Weaver being 3-0, again only in European.
Weaver?
Weaver.
Yeah.
And Nature's Prophet going 9-1, which is a lot for Nature's Prophet, a hero that you don't even see banned ever.
Furia.
Oh yeah.
What do you make of that, Newman?
It's interesting. I mean, I think the heroes.
You've never
hero
played a
stats-
game
I
of
think-
Dota in your life.
I have. I think hero stats are
Yes.
interesting, but
That's
I
exactly
mean,
one.
looking for stats, I'd be more interested in player stats.
Mm-hmm.
Specific. I mean,
Yeah.
Fear
Oh,
picked
you've got a
Fear
challenge.
recently.
You've,
Yes.
Did really good.
you've got a challenge next week. Some player stats.
I do
Newman's
have now.
requested.
Come on.
You've been here 24 hours.
I do what I can. No, I'm.
it's coming a bit.
Yeah, it's coming. No, it's not too much, but just to go to players, the worst heroes right now: Jakiro 0-6, doing terrible. Lone Druid 2-8 against. I mean, surprisingly for a Lone Druid, which is actually a good hero. Shadow Demon, a hero that was also currently like normally first banned, 3-7.
Pacey.
Finally, the two surprises for me is Bad Rider going 1-3 and Templar Assassin going 0-3, which, well, I mean, Bad Rider is normally banned, so I mean, maybe he doesn't really deserve the ban because when you get it, you can defeat him.
All right, and players.
And
let's get
players,
to
I
players. Here
just
we
have
go.
one thing. It's the player to watch of the week. It's actually TC. I mean, the most impressive player of the week so far. He played 4 games.
TCM.
TC.
TC.
From
Oh,
Team
yeah,
Liquid.
yeah. I thought you
Yeah.
said- I was
He
like,
played 4
what?
games. He went like, I mean, Luna 11-2, CK 11-3, Lone Druid 12-2, CK 8-0. Playing against Mouse and 3D Max. I mean, impressive numbers. An average of like 700 GPM. He was playing out of his mind this week. So congratulations to him. He's our player of the week.
And he's on the team of Liquid.
Team
right?
Liquid, yeah.
So Team Liquid TC gets player of the week.
Player of the week.
Do you make
A whole new
predictions too,
feature.
or only stats?
I leave the predictions for other people.
Damn.
Because, yeah. I can try and guess.
Then you can actually be
Okay.
wrong.
When will Slaughter be on top?
When Slaughter be on top, when Naga Science in the bottom.
All right. I like Slaughter. He's never get picked.
All right. Anything else, Bruno, and stats? Are you all
No,
good?
no, we're cool with stats right
We're cool with stats.
yeah.
We don't want to have an overdose.
Yes.
Save it for next week. All right, then. So we're kind of done for everything in our Dota 2 and StarCraft 2 segment apart from what's coming out next week. So we might just quickly rotate and get Mike back in here for the last 10 minutes just to go over, there's a little bit of Quake and BLC, and we'll try and wrap it up on a 3-hour show. Fucking hell, it's a 3-hour show. It's longer than a movie, this. Who watches this for the whole time? It's 5,000 people.
We got a Lord of
Apparently.
the Rings poster.
Why don't we
It's
just
it's
round
only
it up
fitting
right now?
that our show goes as long as 3 hours.
Yeah, shouldn't we round it up now?
There's not much
Yeah, let's
left.
just wrap it.
Yeah,
Let's
It's
okay.
just
like
wrap it.
5 minutes.
All right, I'll do it.
No,
all right,
let me do it. Let me do it.
Okay, yeah.
Chance is really happy.
Wait, what's wrong, Chance?
He's
You like,
in his chair.
You're just like sitting there doing absolutely shit all, so you're just
At
happy.
last, I don't have to do anything.
Exactly.
I'm
Clicking
starving.
buttons.
I'm
me
really
too.
hungry.
I like the
Don't.
hat.
Yeah. No, I don't want the dogs.
Go, Sam.
All right, so let's start it off with, to wrap things up, Quake Live this week. The Face It Sunday Cup, number 19. Evil takes another cup, and another cup next Sunday, apparently.
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday. Yeah, it's a recurring tournament. So Evil takes this cup. Big surprise there? No. More daily cups this week, 12th to 15th. Fantastic. That's the Quake Live news that we have. James, would you like to add anything to that?
Nope.
Okay, moving on. Bloodline Champions this week. We had the Ignite the Flame tournament after the qualifiers that Scriff and I were able to cast last week. We couldn't actually broadcast it this time around, so apologies there, but I hear that Harridan did a really fantastic job on his stream. They promoted it on playblc.com, so go check out playblc.com as well as their stream, which is, I believe, twitch.tv/playblc. But Flying Lotus, which is Corsation's team, Corsation, Altar, and Wampa actually took it. They win the Ignite the Flame number 2, beating Verosk in pieces, which was Chip Sahan's team. So congratulations to them. That's a hard team to beat, and it's very well done. So we'll be seeing more of them next time. They don't have to go through the whole qualification process again. Now we can just go ahead. Those were like the other two games.
Yeah,
So
that
Quake
was it.
Live,
That was
Bloodline
it.
Champions. and
We're
now
done. Now coming up, what's going on
Exactly.
next week? Tell us what we're going to watch.
Coming
I
up
wanna watch
next
everything.
week, we might as well say this. So coming up next week, seeing as how we haven't done this in a while, the Good Studio content we have Full of Steam, which is making a...
Yeah, this week.
Okay, well, coming up throughout this week.
Yeah, so me and Scriff are going to be reviewing a game. We can't promise how good the show is going to be, but this is something that I'm just going to do anyway because we like playing video games.
Last time was legendary, right? You drove trains around.
Yeah. But it's really hard for me to figure out what this show should be like with our type of people because we're very elitist esporty and we're checking out kind of normal games. But we found a couple of really good games, like a little gem. So we're going to check out one tomorrow. It's really fun. Scriff found it, and it's definitely worth having a look at if you don't watch it. Like just because the price of the game and actually it is a really good game.
It's going to be more fucking around than anything,
Yeah.
actually. So if you enjoy Good
Yeah,
Laugh,
we're just going to play video games.
Yeah.
So at least we're getting more content out there for you guys, right? So tomorrow for the Steam, me and
tomorrow
Scriff.
night. And then on Thursday night, the 14th, we have Beat the Studio.
Beat my fucking studio.
So you want to go
What a
through
stick.
that?
Yeah, what we're going to do is because we're really happy that we started off like promoting subscribers and stuff, and we got so busy that we ended up kind of dropping off some of the content, and obviously, you know, we want to make sure that we got people that support us and also enjoy supporting us. So we're going to do Beat the Studio. So basically, anybody who's a subscriber, you can play Dota with us on Thursday. So we'll be rotating the games. Apollo's a little bit busy, so we're going to do some StarCraft 2 with him, Mike, and Semmler in the future. But yeah, so if you're a subscriber
StarCraft,
and you want to
Dota,
play some games with us,
everything.
it's Beat the Studio. Maybe we'll get some prizes as well, so if there's anybody that really kicks our ass. Yeah, but like we might do it that you play with us in 2 teams. We might do it that you're a team and you play against us. It depends, or we might
There'll be
pick
a bunch of different games.
Yeah, we might pick like 2 subscribers and turn them into captains, and then the subscribers can take turns to pick people from the studio that they want on their team, and then also, you know, their mates or something as well, or other subscribers. So there'll be a pool. And Dota 2 is a good kickoff because it's 10 people. So it's more us just we
have
want
fun.
to do some more stuff. So
You just want to play Dota 2.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really an excuse, you know, for all this
And-
Dota 2 talk. We got to
and get paid for it. So no, hopefully you enjoy it. So we'll do that kind of stuff. Oh, chat feedback. Everyone picks
Check the
Draskell
chat.
and Sing.
Yeah,
We'll do some other games in the future as well, like Quake Live and stuff. We are going to do the Civ 5 thing, but I'm kind of holding it off just because I want to pick a day where I want to get drunk, so therefore the next day doesn't hurt what I'm meant to be doing. because lately just the workload's a bit crazy right now. I wanted to do it like on the weekend so we could get drunk on Survivor and go out. You just want to do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
We could have done it Saturday.
All right.
We keep putting it
All
off.
right.
Friday.
And now we're gonna lose Sing.
Yeah, but Sing's coming back. That's what I wanted to wait for. Like Bruno's here, Sing's coming back, Wagger's coming.
Wagger too,
So I
yeah.
wanted to do a really big one, and I also wanted Trans to get like streams set up so people could follow different people, and I could talk a lot, and I could also tell like chat to go check Sing's stream and tell me where he is, and I'll give him good studio merchandise so I win. All right, moving on. Sorry, Hellspawn. I spoke
You
too
good,
long.
Hellspawn? Alright, so moving on in StarCraft, we spoke about this earlier. The Collegiate Star League, the
Yeah,
grand
this
finals are
weekend.
happening this weekend in LA. There's a lot of information actually, so go check out the website. You can find out if you're in the area. You can actually go there. All that sort of thing. They're doing a lot of good stuff. MLG showdowns continue 11 p.m. CET weeknights Europe this week. GSL Code A round of 48 continues the 12th and the 13th, with the Code S continuing as well on the round of 16, 14th and 15th of this week. Pro League round 3, week 3 begins on the 16th, as well as the GSTL HOTS preseason show matches on the 16th. So a lot of StarCraft coming up this week.
Yep.
So much StarCraft every fucking day.
StarCraft.
So go and check out the StarCraft.
Also, people are asking what time the Beat the Studio starts.
It's gonna be
going to be at 8
8.
till late,
Yeah.
as long as we just fancy playing. So, and you guys want to play as well. So, all right, then.
So Dota 2, the Premier League Season 4 started off. More games during this week. Raid Call EMS First Cup has started as well. Some games already played. Next game on 18th and 19th. The schedule can be found on the main site. So I suppose just Google Raid Call EMS and you'll find it pretty quick. Star Ladder Season 5 online play begins on 15th as well. So Season 5 kicking off. Quake Live, we have the Daily Cups and the Sunday Cups.
Yeah, about
You wanna say something?
Dota, just a second. I think that if you're too lazy to Google, then we can help you. Actually, Newman can help you. Let's bring something from him.
Ooh.
And
shit.
I have a little piece of paper here that he will have. And it says, well, I mean, if you want to watch D2L, there's 13 Virtus Pro versus Empire game to watch. 15 EG versus Team Liquid. For the Premier League 4, you have the 17th, that's a Sunday, Team Liquid versus Empire. And then 17 and 18 for Star Ladder 5, you have Navi playing against Power Rangers, Mouse DD, that's 17, and 18 we have Empire versus Mouse, and Fnatic versus BP, which is a rematch of the game that was just played now, and Fnatic picked Nepo and wrecked BP out. So
I'm blown
there you
away.
have it.
All right.
James, can you repeat? Do you also need a note?
Dude, I actually read in his CV under his interests the magic tricks.
He's a magician.
That was kind of the
Fucking
big joke.
magic. Okay, we're good. So yeah, lot to watch.
Yeah.
We'll be on twice. More than welcome to join us. And we're really happy to have you here, Bruno.
Thank you.
And
I'm really
when
happy to be
Draskell
here.
and Scriff wake up after their long adventures at hospital, maybe we'll do some more matchmaking Dota 2.
Sounds good.
And till then, I guess you're back off to work. Hellspawn?
Yep.
Yeah.
Lots to do.
Lots to do. With the
Raycorn is
Lots
back
to
tomorrow.
organize.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, oh, okay. Yeah, you guys have been on holiday at DreamHack for a while, right? Robert and
Not
Raycon.
me, working my ass off. So now it's
You get to
time,
rub
like
it in.
Graycorn is gonna look at like. So what Google documents have you done? Have you filled out these pages?
Forever a drone. Hellspawn.
How many TPS
Forever.
reports have you written?
No. I'm gonna put all the shit on him, so he has to solve my problems.
And Newman, you've got a big event as well. You've got
Yeah.
like a big trade show, right?
Yeah.
You're going to.
Big trade show tomorrow. Lots of work. Amazing.
All right. Okay. So
Trade show equals girls and beer,
Oh yeah.
Boom.
we're
and even in Sweden, maybe.
we'll leave it here for now,
All right.
and we'll say bye to chat. Goodbye, chat. Thanks
Bye,
for sticking
chat.
around.
Hi, Chad.
We're all
And
going to say goodbye.
real quick,
in a minute.
actually, before we leave, just want to give a shout out to Metabi. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday,
Oh,
Metabi.
Oh, it's Metabi's birthday.
Yeah.
That's right. Happy birthday,
Happy
Metabi.
birthday, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the work you do in the Reddits and everywheres. You're a badass.
Yeah, and you guys can head over to Chanman V if you want to watch a bit of Apollo. Also, though, I've got a new tactic, guys. When we go into people's channels, what we do is we don't just go in and start spamming Call the Dwarf or whatever else it is, right? I want to do a social experiment that can we go to some some channels on Twitch TV and be overly complimentary and just see how the people react and pick people with like 100 stream, like a girl or something. She's got 100 viewers, right? And then we send in 2,000 and everyone's super fucking nice. And then we get to watch it live on the show. I think it's against terms and policy, but I think it would be a fantastic feature.
Well, Trance isn't face palming, so you might be getting away with it.
Yeah. But for now, you can go for now you can go to Chanman V. But next week, right, I'm going to pick some lady streamer, and we're all going to go in and be super nice, and just just watch them on stream.
Internet love, James
Yeah,
Harden.
but not so nice that she figures it out
Not
or he
just
figures
happy.
it out. But yeah, with chat being a little bit broken, people are already linking girly streams now. But just go check out Chanman V. But otherwise, we're back tomorrow and the good show powered by Asus. Number 30 is over, and we'll be back next week.